Ethan Miller walked through the forest, his bag filled with parts he had found in the junk area outside New Austin Colony. The sun was setting and he needed to get home soon. Ethan lived alone, far from other people. He had once been an important biomedical engineer, but the company fired him when he tried to make tech that could help humans see better without permission. As he walked, a bright light flashed in the sky. Something crashed in the woods ahead of him. The ground shook and trees fell. Ethan ran toward the crash, curious but careful. When he reached the site, he saw a small spaceship unlike any human craft he had seen before. It was smooth and shiny, with no sharp edges. Steam rose from its broken hull. Ethan looked around to see if anyone else had noticed, but he was alone. He touched the ship's surface. It felt warm and seemed to pulse slightly under his fingers. A section of the wall slid, opened suddenly, making Ethan jump back. Inside, he saw someone moving. "Hello?" Ethan called out. "Are you hurt?" "I can help." A figure crawled out of the opening. It was a woman, but not human. Her skin was silvery blue and she had no hair. Her face looked almost human, but her features were more delicate, with high cheekbones and a small nose. She wore a tight outfit that seemed to be part of her skin. Most striking were her eyes, completely white with no pupils, moving without focus. The alien woman spoke in a language Ethan didn't understand. Her voice sounded like music, with clicks and whistles mixed in. She reached out, her hands moving in the air, trying to find something to touch. Ethan realized she was blind. "I won't hurt you," Ethan said, taking her hand gently. The alien woman flinched but didn't pull away. She had cuts on her arms and face, and one leg looked badly hurt. Ethan knew he should call the colony authorities, but something stopped him. The government would take her away, study her, maybe hurt her, and he would never see her again. Instead, he decided to help her himself. "I'm going to take you somewhere safe," he said, knowing she couldn't understand his words but hoping his tone would calm her. He helped her stand, letting her lean on him as they walked slowly through the forest toward his home. Ethan's house was small but full of tools and technology. He had built it himself, far enough from the colony that no one bothered him. Inside, he helped the alien woman to his bed and cleaned her wounds. Some of her blood was purple, which surprised him. The alien woman stayed tense but allowed him to help. When he brought her water, she sniffed it before drinking. She seemed to relax a little after that. Over the next few days, Ethan tried to communicate with her. He learned her name was Zara, or something close to that sound. He showed her around, his house guiding her hand to touch different objects and saying their names. Zara learned quickly and soon began to repeat some words. One morning, about a week after he found her, Zara placed her hands on Ethan's temples. He felt a strange, warm feeling in his head, and suddenly he could understand some of her thoughts. Not words exactly, but feelings and pictures. She showed him her people, tall and graceful like her. They were called Viridians. They had huge ships and amazing technology. They knew about humans but stayed away, thinking humans were too violent and primitive. Zara had been a ship navigator, using her mind to connect with Viridian vessels. But after an accident damaged her eyes, her people cast her out. In Viridian society, physical problems were seen as weakness. Rather than live alone and forgotten, Zara stole a small ship and ran away. She crashed on Earth while trying to escape Viridian ships that were chasing her. "They'll find me," she said in broken English, the first full sentence she had spoken. "They will come." "Who will come?" Ethan asked. "Guards. Take me back. Punish me." Zara's face showed fear. Ethan thought for a long time that night. He looked at Zara sleeping on his bed. He had been using the couch. She seemed so vulnerable, yet he sensed strength in her. He remembered his own work before he was fired, neural interfaces that could help blind people see. The next morning, Ethan asked Zara to show him her ship. They walked to the crash site, and Ethan collected pieces of Viridian technology. The ship was badly damaged, but many systems still worked. Ethan studied them, amazed by how advanced they were compared to human tech. "I can help you see," Ethan told Zara when they returned home. He drew pictures to show his idea, a visor that would connect to her brain and let her see again, Zara touched the drawings and then touched her eyes. "You fix?" she asked. "I'll try," Ethan promised. He began working that day. He combined human technology with parts from Zara's ship. He used his old research notes and what he learned from connecting with Zara's mind. It would be his greatest creation if it worked. As weeks passed, Ethan and Zara grew closer. She learned more English and he learned some Viridian words. She told him more about her world, how her people could speak with their minds, how their society was very strict with harsh rules. She had been brave to leave. Sometimes at night, Zara would place her hands on Ethan's head and share memories of her homeworld, beautiful cities that floated in the clouds, oceans that glowed at night, music that could be seen as colors. Ethan shared his own memories too, his childhood on Earth, his dreams of making technology to help people, his loneliness after being forced out of his job. One night, Zara suddenly stiffened and looked afraid. She said she felt something, a Viridian ship passing high above Earth. It hadn't detected her yet, but it was looking. They would need to finish the Visor soon, before others came. Ethan worked harder, often forgetting to eat or sleep. He made many versions of the Visor that failed. One caused Zara pain, another did nothing at all, but Ethan kept trying, and Zara never lost faith in him. To get rare parts he needed, Ethan visited Nancy, a woman who sold things on the black market in the colony. She didn't ask questions about why he needed such strange items, but she charged him a lot of money. Ethan traded her things he had made or fixed. "Whatever you're building, it must be special," Nancy said once. "Be careful, Ethan. The colony patrol has been asking about unusual tech." Ethan nodded but said nothing. He couldn't tell anyone about Zara. It was their secret, a secret that might change everything if he could make the Visor work. Days turned into weeks as Ethan worked on the Visor. His small house was now filled with tools, wires, and strange parts. Some came from Zara's crashed ship, others from Nancy's black market shop. Ethan slept little, often working through the night while Zara rested. The Visor was unlike anything Ethan had made before. It needed to connect with Zara's brain in a special way. Human eyes and Viridian eyes worked differently. Zara's people could see more colors than humans, and could even see some energy fields, but her damaged eyes couldn't send signals to her brain anymore. "The Visor needs to talk to your brain directly," Ethan explained to Zara one evening. "It will skip your eyes and send pictures straight to your mind." Zara nodded. She sat very still as Ethan measured her head again. Her English was better now. They could talk about simple things easily. "My people have similar tech," she said, "but they never use it to fix broken ones like me." "You're not broken," Ethan said firmly. "Your eyes don't work, that's all. The rest of you is perfect." Zara smiled slightly. "In my world, not perfect means not worthy." Ethan shook his head. "Your people are wrong about that. And they're wrong about humans too. We're not all bad." Their first tests of the Visor didn't go well. When Zara put it on and Ethan turned it on, she screamed and fell to the floor, her body shaking. Ethan quickly turned it off and held her until the shaking stopped. "I'm sorry," he said, feeling terrible. "I'll fix it." Zara touched his face. "Try again. Don't stop." Ethan went back to work. He adjusted the Visor's settings, trying to make it gentler on Zara's brain. The next test was better, but Zara still felt pain. She saw only flashes of light, not real images. One night, when Ethan finally fell asleep at his work table, Zara came to him. She placed her hands on his head as he slept. She used her Viridian mind powers to connect deeply with his brain. It was dangerous for her. Using so much mental energy could hurt her, but she needed to help him understand her Viridian brain better. In this deep connection, she showed Ethan exactly how Viridian minds processed images. She showed him the pathways in her brain that the Visor needed to connect with. When Ethan woke up the next morning, he felt strange, as if he had lived another life in his dreams. But he also had new ideas for the Visor. "You connected with me last night," he said to Zara. She nodded. "To help you see. That was risky for you. Worth risk, she said simply. With this new understanding, Ethan made big changes to the visor. He worked for 3 days straight, stopping only to eat a little when Zara insisted. The new version looked sleeker, a curved band that would wrap around Zara's head, with special contact points near her temples. I think it's ready, Ethan said finally. He was tired but excited. Zara sat in a chair in the middle of the room. Ethan carefully placed the visor on her head, adjusting it to fit perfectly. The contact points touched her temples gently. Ready? He asked. Zara took a deep breath and nodded. Ethan turned on the visor. It hummed softly and small lights on its surface glowed blue-green. Zara gasped and gripped the arms of the chair tightly, but she didn't scream or shake this time. Zara, what do you see? Ethan asked anxiously. Zara didn't answer at first. Her face showed many emotions: surprise, confusion, wonder. A tear ran down her cheek. Shapes, she whispered finally. Light, colors. She reached out a hand, trying to touch something in the air in front of her. You. I see. You, Ethan. Ethan felt tears in his own eyes. The colors might not be right, he explained. I had to change them to work with your brain, and the images are probably simple, not detailed. It's beautiful, Zara said. She stood up carefully and walked forward, her hands still out in front of her from habit. But now she could see the table and walked around it instead of bumping into it. She looked around the room slowly, taking in everything. Your home. Small but full, like your mind. She smiled at Ethan. Thank you. Ethan smiled back, feeling happier than he had in years. The visor worked. Not perfectly, but it worked. Zara could see. Over the next few days, Ethan made small improvements to the visor. Zara had to learn to understand what she was seeing. Sometimes the images confused her, and she still used her hands to feel things. But she was learning quickly. One evening, Zara asked to see outside. They hadn't left the house since beginning the visor tests, worried someone might see her. But it was dark, and Ethan's house was far from others. They stood on the small porch. Zara looked up at the night sky and became very still. Stars, she whispered. I remember stars. Ethan watched her face as she took in the sight. The visor glowed softly in the darkness. Zara looked more alien and more beautiful than ever. My star is there, she said, pointing to a section of the sky. My home. Do you miss it? Ethan asked. Zara was quiet for a moment. Miss some things. Not the rules, not the coldness. As they stood there, Zara suddenly stiffened. Her face changed from peaceful to afraid. What's wrong? Ethan asked. I feel them, she said, her voice shaking. Viridian minds, searching. Where? How close? Far still. In orbit. Ship passing. Zara turned to Ethan, her face serious. They sense strange tech. The visor has Viridian parts. It makes signal they can find. Ethan hadn't thought of that. Of course, the Viridian technology in the visor might be detected by other Viridians. Can they tell it's you? Do they know exactly where we are? He asked. Not yet. But they will search more, send more ships. Zara touched the visor. We should turn off when not needed. They went back inside and Ethan turned off the visor. Zara was blind again, but she moved around his house easily now, knowing where everything was. That night, Ethan couldn't sleep. He thought about what might happen if Zara's people found her. Would they take her away? Would they punish her for running away? Would they be angry that Ethan had used their technology? In the morning, Ethan decided they needed a plan. If Viridians were searching, he and Zara might need to leave quickly. We'll fix up my old vehicle, he told Zara. Make it ready to go if we need to run. Zara nodded. Good plan. Need to be ready. They spent the next few days preparing. Ethan's vehicle was old but still worked. He added some of the Viridian technology to make it faster and stronger. Zara helped, using the visor for short periods to see what she was doing. Zara also taught Ethan how to shield his mind from Viridian telepathy. My people will try to read your thoughts, she explained. You must learn to block them. The mental exercises were hard for Ethan. Humans didn't have natural telepathy like Viridians, but Zara was patient, and Ethan practiced every day. Think of wall, she would say. Strong wall around your thoughts. Picture it when you feel push in your mind. During this time, Zara told Ethan more about herself. She wasn't just any Viridian. Her father was High Commander Kirel, an important leader. Zara had been training to be a navigator on the biggest ships, but her sister Lyra was jealous of Zara's skills. The accident. Not accident, Zara admitted. Lyra made it happen, wanted me gone. Your own sister hurt you? Ethan was shocked. Viridian way. Power matters most. Zara looked sad. Father couldn't help me. Council rules say damaged ones must be sent away. That's terrible, Ethan said. Yes. Zara was quiet for a moment. Father had secret work. Wanted peace with humans. Thought humans creative, interesting. Lyra and others disagreed. Want to stay separate. This information made Ethan worry more. If Zara was important, her people would try harder to find her. And the Visor, a mix of human and Viridian technology, might be seen as dangerous by those who wanted to keep the species separate. They needed to be ready. The Viridians were coming. Ethan woke to the sound of Zara crying out. He jumped from the couch and ran to his bedroom where she slept. Zara sat upright, her hands pressed to her temples. What's wrong? Ethan asked, rushing to her side. Message, Zara gasped. In my mind. From passing ship. She looked at Ethan with fear in her white eyes. They found me. Ethan felt cold fear in his stomach. What did they say? How close are they? Scout ship detected me. Reported to fleet. Zara's voice shook. Worse. They detected the Visor. No, it has Viridian tech in it. She reached for Ethan's hand. They send Obsidian Guard. What's that? Elite soldiers. 4 coming. Special training. Special powers. Enhanced bodies. Zara squeezed his hand. Very dangerous. Ethan tried to stay calm, but his heart raced. How long do we have? 3 days, maybe 4. Zara stood up, moving with the sure steps of someone who knew the space well, despite her blindness. We must prepare. Ethan nodded, then remembered she couldn't see him without the visor. Yes, we'll get ready. He hesitated. Zara, why is this such a big deal to them? Why send elite guards just for you? Zara was quiet for a moment. Then she said, not just for me. For the visor. She touched Ethan's face gently. Must tell you truth. I am Kirel's daughter, High Commander Kirel of Viridian Council. Your royalty? Ethan asked, surprised. Not royalty, but important family, high position. Zara sat back down on the bed. My sister Lyra wants father's place on council, fears I would be chosen instead. She caused my accident. Your own sister blinded you? Ethan felt sick. Yes. Now I am bigger problem. The visor proves human and Viridian tech can work together. Proves father's ideas right. Lyra and others don't want this known. Ethan understood now. This wasn't just about finding a runaway, it was politics, power, and he and Zara were in the middle of it. What about contacting Earth authorities? Ethan suggested. Maybe they could help protect us. Zara shook her head firmly. No. Human weapons useless against Obsidian Guard. Would only cause more deaths. She stood again. We must run, hide, or fight in our way. They spent the rest of the day preparing. Ethan packed food, water, tools, and weapons. His old gun probably wouldn't do much against advanced aliens, but it made him feel better to have it. He also packed the equipment needed to maintain and adjust the visor. Zara taught Ethan more about mental shielding. Obsidian guards can pull thoughts from your mind, she explained. See your memories, your fears. Can make you see things that aren't there. Ethan practiced, imagining strong walls around his thoughts like Zara had taught him. It was hard work, and he wasn't sure if he was doing it right. But Zara seemed pleased with his progress. "Good," she said after several hours of practice. "Your mind is stronger than most humans." That night, they decided to check Zara's crashed ship one last time for anything useful. Ethan turned on the visor so Zara could see. She gasped softly as her vision returned. "Still amazing," she said, looking at Ethan's face. "To see you." They walked carefully through the dark forest. The visor helped Zara see in the darkness better than Ethan could. She held his hand, guiding him around trees and rocks. The ship was where they had left it, half buried in dirt and broken trees. They climbed inside through the damaged hull. Zara went straight to a panel on the wall that Ethan hadn't noticed before. She pressed her hand against it, and a hidden compartment opened. Inside was a small device that looked like a silver egg. Zara picked it up carefully. "What is that?" Ethan asked. "Emergency beacon. Can call friendly ships." Zara looked uncertain. Not sure who would come, who is still loyal to father. They took the beacon and a few more items from the ship, then returned to Ethan's house. On the way back, Zara suddenly stopped. "Turn off visor," she whispered urgently. Ethan quickly switched off the device. Zara was blind again, but she didn't seem to care. "What is it?" Ethan whispered. "Scan passed over us. From orbit." Zara stood very still, looking for Viridian energy signature. They waited in silence for several minutes before Zara relaxed slightly. "Gone for now. But they know general area. Coming closer." She squeezed Ethan's hand. "Tomorrow we must leave." Back at the house, they finished packing the vehicle. Ethan had modified it with parts from Zara's ship. It was faster now with better protection. Not as good as Viridian technology, but better than standard human vehicles. As they worked, Ethan asked Zara more about the Obsidian Guards. "How do we fight them if we have to?" "Not easy," Zara admitted. "They have armor that changes color to match surroundings. Hard to see. They have weapons that stun or kill, and mental powers stronger than mine." "Do they have any weaknesses?" Zara thought for a moment. "They rely on tech and mental powers. If we disrupt either, they become less effective." She touched the silver egg-shaped beacon. "This might help. Create signal that interferes with their armor systems, but only works short time." Ethan nodded. It wasn't much, but it was something. That night, neither of them slept much. They took turns watching out the window. Ethan wondered if he should contact Nancy or someone else from the colony for help, but decided against it. Bringing others into this would only put them in danger. In the early morning, Zara suddenly stiffened. "They're here," she whispered. "The guards? Already?" Ethan looked out the window but saw nothing. Not on ground yet. Ship entered atmosphere. Zara closed her eyes, concentrating. "Landing soon. About 10 miles from here." Ethan felt panic rising but forced himself to stay calm. "We need to go now." They hurried to the vehicle. Ethan loaded their supplies while Zara sat in the passenger seat, her head tilted as if listening to something far away. "4 guards," she said, "led by Cora, my cousin, Lyra's most loyal soldier." "Your cousin is hunting you?" Ethan asked as he started the vehicle. "Yes. Viridian family ties. Complicated." Zara's face showed sadness. "Cora, once my friend, now serves Lyra for power." They drove away from Ethan's house just as the sun was rising. Ethan looked back once at the small building that had been his home for years. He might never see it again. "Where should we go?" he asked Zara. "Old mines," she said. "You mentioned them before. Deep underground places." Ethan nodded. "The abandoned mining complex about 30 miles east. The mineral deposits might block their scanners." He drove fast, taking back roads and forest paths where possible. The vehicle handled better than before thanks to the Viridian upgrades. They passed the edge of New Austin Colony, staying far enough away that the colony patrol wouldn't notice them. As they drove, Zara kept her eyes closed, focusing her mental powers. "They've landed," she said after about an hour. Shuttle touched down 8 miles from your house. They're moving fast. Can they track us? Ethan asked, driving faster. Not directly. Not yet. Scanning for Viridian energy. Zara opened her eyes. Visor is off, so harder to find. But they know general direction. The terrain became rougher as they headed toward the mining complex. Ethan had to slow down to navigate the rocky ground. Mountains rose ahead of them and the old mining roads wound up into the hills. Tell me about these mines, Zara said. They were dug about 50 years ago, Ethan explained. Company was looking for rare metals, found some but not enough to make money. They left about 20 years ago. The complex is huge. Tunnels, processing buildings, old machinery. Some areas are dangerous. Toxic chemicals, unstable tunnels. Good place to hide, Zara said, or make stand. There's something else, Ethan added. The mine has an old computer system. It might still work. If it does, we could use it. For what? The system controlled mining drones and security doors. Maybe other things. If I can get it running, it might help us. Zara nodded. Good thinking. They drove in silence for a while. The sun was high now and the day was warm. Ethan watched the mirrors, looking for any sign of pursuit. How will they come after us? He asked. In their shuttle? First, yes, Zara said. When close, on foot. Shuttle too big for narrow spaces. About an hour later, Zara gasped. What is it? Ethan asked. They found my ship, reading its memory core. Zara looked worried. We'll know about Visor now. Know you helped me. Ethan gripped the steering wheel tighter. How much longer until we reach the mines? About 20 minutes, Ethan said. We're close. Good. Zara turned to Ethan, her face serious. Ethan, if they catch us, they will kill you, for helping me, for making Visor. I know, Ethan said quietly. I'm sorry I brought this danger to you. Ethan reached over and took her hand. Don't be sorry, I'm not. Zara squeezed his hand. You are a strange human, brave and kind. And you're a strange alien, Ethan replied with a small smile. Brave and kind too. They drove on toward the mines, not knowing if they would find safety there or if it would become their last stand against the Obsidian guards. The mining complex appeared ahead of them, a collection of gray buildings nestled against the mountainside. Old metal towers rose above the main structures, and rusty equipment lay scattered around the site. It looked abandoned and forgotten. Ethan drove through the open gate and parked between two buildings where the vehicle wouldn't be easily seen from the air. We're here, he said to Zara. Do you want to use the visor now? Zara nodded. Yes. Need to see. Ethan carefully placed the visor on her head and turned it on. The device hummed softly as it activated. Zara blinked as her vision returned. Strange place, she said, looking around at the mining complex. Many metal things. It's been empty for years, Ethan explained as they got out of the vehicle. But some systems might still work. Let's find the control center. They gathered their supplies and walked through the complex. The buildings were dusty and dark inside. Their footsteps echoed on the metal floors. Zara looked at everything with interest, studying the human technology. The main control building was in the center of the complex. Inside, they found a large room filled with old computers and control panels. Most looked dead, but when Ethan tried the emergency power system, some lights flickered on. It still has power, he said, surprised and pleased. The solar backup must still work. Ethan sat at the main control panel and began typing. Old screens lit up with green text. The system was basic but functional. What does it say? Zara asked, looking over his shoulder. I'm checking what still works, Ethan explained. Looks like some security systems are online, and about a dozen mining drones. What are drones? Machines that can move and work on their own. They were used to dig and carry ore. Ethan typed more commands. There's also a force field system. It was designed to contain gas explosions in the tunnels, but we might be able to use it differently. While Ethan worked on the computer, Zara stood by the window, watching the sky. They're coming, she said suddenly, I feel them. Shuttle approaching. Ethan looked up from the computer. How long do we have? Minutes only. Zara turned to him. We need plan. Ethan thought quickly. The tunnels. They connect to this building. We can hide in them, set traps. They gathered their most important supplies and headed for the tunnel. Entrance at the back of the control building. The tunnel was dark and smelled of dust and old chemicals. Ethan used a flashlight to guide them, though Zara could see fairly well with the visor. They walked about half a mile into the mountain before stopping at a junction where several tunnels met. This is good, Ethan said. We can set up here. I'll go back and program the computer to help us. I'll go, Zara said. I'm faster. It's too dangerous, Ethan argued. The guards might be here already. That's why I should go. I can sense them before they see me. Zara touched his arm. Trust me. Ethan didn't like it, but he nodded. Be careful, just set the program running and come straight back. Zara hurried back toward the entrance while Ethan prepared their position. He set up some basic traps using things they had brought and materials found in the tunnels. Nothing that would stop an elite alien guard for long, but enough to slow them down maybe. 15 minutes later, Zara returned, breathing hard. They're here, she said. Shuttle landed outside complex. 4 guards coming on foot. Did you set the program? Ethan asked. Zara nodded. Yes, computer ready. Good. Now we wait. Ethan checked his makeshift weapons one last time. They didn't wait long. Soon, Zara stiffened. They're in the complex, she whispered. Searching buildings. Cora is leading them. Can you tell what they're planning? They split up. 2 checking buildings. 2 coming toward tunnels. Zara closed her eyes. They know we're here. Can sense us. Ethan took a deep breath. Their plan was simple but desperate. Split the guards up, try to trap them one by one and use the mining complex against them. Ready? He asked. Zara nodded and handed him a small device she had made from parts of her ship. This will disrupt their armor for short time. One use. Only Ethan put it in his pocket. Then they separated, each taking a different tunnel. The plan was for Zara to lead 2 of the guards into a trap, while Ethan activated the mining drones to attack the others. Ethan moved quickly through the tunnel, using his knowledge of the complex to navigate. He reached a small control station and began typing commands. On a small screen, he could see security camera views of parts of the complex. The images were grainy but showed 2 tall figures moving between buildings. Their armor shifted colors to match their surroundings, making them hard to see. The obsidian guards were even more frightening than Ethan had imagined. They were taller than humans, with helmets that completely covered their faces. Their armor moved and changed like liquid metal, adapting to whatever was around them. Ethan activated the mining drones. The old machines came to life, rolling out of their storage bays on heavy treads. Each was about the size of a small car, with mechanical arms and tools for digging. Ethan directed them toward the 2 guards outside. On the screen, he saw the guards notice the approaching drones. One guard raised a hand, and a pulse of energy shot out, disabling the nearest drone. But there were more drones coming. The guards began to retreat toward the main building. Ethan smiled grimly. The first part of the plan was working. Now he needed to help Zara. He left the control station and moved deeper into the tunnels toward where Zara should be. He heard sounds of fighting ahead, strange energy pulses and the crash of falling rocks. Rounding a corner, he saw Zara facing one of the guards. The alien soldier was firing energy blasts from a weapon on its arm. Zara was dodging the shots, moving with surprising speed for someone who had been blind until recently. The visor glowed on her head as she used it to see her attacker. Ethan looked for the second guard but didn't see it. That worried him. Where was the other one? He didn't have time to wonder. Zara was in trouble. The guard had her cornered at the end of the tunnel. Ethan pulled out his gun and fired at the guard. The bullets bounced off its armor, but it turned toward him, distracted. Zara used the moment to press something on the wall, a control panel Ethan had shown her earlier. Force field activated across the tunnel, trapping the guard inside a section of tunnel. Run, Zara shouted to Ethan. They both ran back the way Ethan had come. Behind them, they heard the guard breaking through the force field. It wouldn't hold for long. "Where's the other one?" Ethan asked as they ran. "Don't know," Zara gasped. "Lost. Track in tunnels." They reached a larger chamber with mining equipment. Ethan led them behind a large drilling machine. "The force fields won't stop them for long," Ethan said, "and the drones can only slow the other two down." Zara nodded, catching her breath. "Need new plan." Suddenly, Zara pushed Ethan down just as an energy blast hit the wall where his head had been. The fourth guard had found them. This guard was different from the others. It moved more smoothly, more deadly. Its armor seemed to flow like water as it walked toward them. "Cora," Zara whispered. The guard stopped a few meters away, its helmet retracted, revealing a female Viridian face similar to Zara's but harder, colder. Her eyes were not blind. They were deep purple and seemed to glow slightly. "Cousin," the guard, Cora, said in a musical but threatening voice. She spoke in English, though her accent was strange. Long search, finally found. "Cora," Zara stood up slowly. "You don't need to do this. Council orders, Lyra's orders." Cora's eyes moved to Ethan. "This the human? Who made forbidden tech?" Ethan stood up beside Zara, trying not to show his fear. The alien warrior was terrifying up close. "The visor helps her see," Ethan said. "That's all." "Forbidden," Cora said. "Human and Viridian tech cannot mix. Human knowledge of our tech forbidden." "Why?" Ethan asked. "Because it works? Because it proves we can help each other?" Cora's face showed no emotion. "Not your place to question." She looked back at Zara. "Come now. Quietly. Or human dies slowly." Zara stepped forward. "If I come, you let him live?" "No," Cora said simply. "He knows too much, has touched our tech. Must die." Ethan felt cold fear, but also anger. These aliens with their cruel rules, their rigid thinking, they would kill him just for helping someone see. Before anyone could move, there was a rumble from deeper in the tunnels. The guard that Zara had trapped had broken free and was coming, and from another tunnel came the two guards who had been fighting the drones outside. They were surrounded. The three other guards joined Cora, forming a half circle around Ethan and Zara. All four had their helmets retracted now, showing Viridian. Faces beautiful but cold. "Surrender," Cora said. "No escape." Ethan looked at Zara. They had one chance left, the emergency plan. Zara gave a tiny nod. "Now!" Ethan shouted. He pressed a button on the control panel behind him, while Zara threw the silver egg-shaped device at the guards. The egg burst open, releasing a pulse of energy that made the guard's armor freeze and become rigid. At the same time, the force field system activated, creating energy barriers that cut through the chamber in a grid pattern. One guard was caught half in, half out of a force field. It screamed as the energy field cut into its armor. Another guard was knocked backward by the pulse from the egg device. Cora and the fourth guard were separated from each other by force fields but were still too close to Ethan and Zara. "Run!" Ethan pushed Zara toward the exit tunnel. Ethan and Zara emerged from the maintenance tunnel onto a narrow ledge on the mountainside. The sun was setting, painting the sky orange and red. Below them, the mining complex sprawled out like a metal maze. "We need to reach the vehicle," Ethan said, breathing hard from their escape. Zara shook her head. "Too dangerous, guards will watch it." She was right. Going back for the vehicle would be suicide, but without it they had no fast way to travel. "Then we need to keep moving," Ethan decided. "There's an old Forest Service road about 2 miles from here. If we can reach it, we might find help." They started climbing down the rocky slope, moving as quickly as they dared. Zara's visor helped her see in the fading light, but the terrain was difficult for both of them. They had gone about half a mile when Zara suddenly stopped. "They're coming," she whispered. "2 guards following our trail. 2 circling around to trap us." Ethan looked back but saw nothing yet. "How far?" "Close. Minutes away." Zara looked at Ethan, her face showing fear but also determination. I have idea, dangerous. What is it? I can force mind link, connect Cora's mind with ours, show her truth. Ethan frowned. What truth? About my father's work, about Visor, about Lyra's betrayal. Zara touched the visor on her head. Through this I can make strong connection. But risks? What risks? Could damage our minds. Could let guards see all our thoughts, our plans. Zara looked at him seriously. Could kill us if goes wrong. It was a desperate plan. But they were out of options. The guards would catch them soon no matter what. Do it, Ethan said. It's our only chance. Zara nodded. Need to be close to Cora. Need to see her. They found a small clearing where they could see anyone approaching. Then they waited, listening for the guards. Soon they heard movement in the trees. Cora stepped into the clearing, her armor shifting to match the forest colors. She held a weapon pointed at them. Nowhere left to run, she said coldly. Zara stepped forward. Cora, listen. Before you kill us, let me show you something. Cora tilted her head, suspicious but curious. What trick is this? No trick, just truth. Zara raised her hands slowly to show she held no weapons. Ethan stood very still watching. Their lives depended on what happened in the next few moments. Before Cora could react, Zara activated something on the visor. It glowed brighter, and Zara closed her eyes in concentration. Ethan felt a strange sensation in his head, like a door opening in his mind. Suddenly, he could feel Cora's presence, too. The three of them were connected mentally. Images and feelings flowed between them like a river. Zara showed Cora everything, how Lyra had sabotaged Zara's ship, causing the accident that blinded her. She showed her father's secret research into human Viridian cooperation. She showed Ethan finding her, helping her, creating the visor not for power or to steal Viridian technology but out of compassion. Ethan felt Cora's shock and disbelief, then her growing understanding. The mental connection was overwhelming. Emotions and memories that weren't his own flooded his mind. Then Cora showed them something unexpected, her own memories. She had been there when Lyra plotted against Zara. She had known about the sabotage but had been too afraid to stop it. She showed them how Lyra had slowly taken control of the council, pushing for isolation and superiority over other species. How those who opposed her began to have accidents. The connection grew stronger. Ethan saw Viridian cities, felt what it was like to navigate a ship with your mind, experience the cold beauty of Viridian culture with its rigid rules and incredible technology. Cora saw Earth through Ethan's eyes, the messiness of human life, the creativity born from struggle, the kindness that had led him to help an alien who should have been his enemy. The mental link was so intense that none of them noticed when another figure entered the clearing. Only when the connection was suddenly broken did they all stagger, back to awareness. The fourth guard stood there, helmet off, looking at them with confusion. Cora? The guard said. What happens? Cora straightened, her face troubled. She looked at Zara, then at Ethan, then back at the other guard. Talia, Cora said slowly. There is much we didn't know. The guard Talia stepped closer. What do you mean? Lyra lied to us, to the council, to everyone. Cora's voice was shaking slightly. Zara showed me truth. Talia looked at Zara with wide eyes. Zara? High Commander's daughter. She noticed the visor. What is that device? It lets me see, Zara explained. The human made it for me. Talia came closer, studying the visor with interest. Human technology and Viridian together? It works? Yes, Zara said, just as father believed it could. Talia looked at Cora. You always said your loyalty was to truth above all, Cora. What is the truth here? Cora was silent for a long moment. The other two guards would arrive soon. Whatever she decided would determine all their fates. Finally, Cora lowered her weapon. The truth is we were wrong. Lyra is the traitor, not Zara. Relief washed over Ethan. But they weren't safe yet. The other guards are still coming, he reminded. Them? Cora nodded. I will stop them. She looked at Talia. Are you with me? Talia hesitated only briefly. I joined this mission to find what happened to Zara. I serve the Council, not Lyra, personally. She turned to Zara. I was your friend. Once I would be again. Zara smiled, her first real smile since Ethan had found her. Thank you, Talia. Cora activated her communicator. This is Squad Leader Cora. I have found the targets. Coming to your position. Maintain search pattern. She turned it off. That will keep them busy for a while. They moved back into the forest, finding a sheltered spot where they could talk. Cora and Talia removed more of their armor, looking less threatening. What now? Ethan asked. The other guards will realize something's wrong eventually. We must return to the fleet, Zara said. Show the Council what Lyra has done. Show them the Visor. Return? Ethan felt a stab of pain. You're going back? Zara took his hand. With you. You must come. To explain the Visor. To represent humans. Ethan hadn't expected this. He thought they would keep running, find somewhere to hide. The idea of going to the Viridian fleet was terrifying. The Council might still execute you both, Cora warned. But with 2 Obsidian guards supporting your claim, they must at least listen first. It's our only chance to change things, Zara said to Ethan. To finish what my father started. To show our peoples can work together. Ethan thought about his life on Earth. His lonely house in the woods. His work that no one cared about. And he thought about Zara, her courage, her kindness, the way she saw the world now through the Visor he had made. I'll come, he said, finally. Someone needs to explain how to maintain the Visor anyway. Zara smiled and squeezed his hand. Cora stood up. We should move. Our shuttle is not far. They walked through the darkening forest, a strange group. 2 Viridian guards, a blind alien princess with a human-made visor, and a human engineer who had changed everything by showing kindness to an enemy. When they reached the shuttle, Ethan stopped to look back at the Earth landscape. The stars were coming out, bright points of light in the deep blue sky. Beautiful, isn't it? Zara said, standing beside him. Through the visor, she could see the stars too. Yes, Ethan agreed. Your world beautiful too? Different. Colder. More ordered. Zara touched the visor. I see it differently now. Through human eyes, in a way. The shuttle was larger inside than it looked from outside. Cora took the pilot's seat while Talia secured the door. The other 2 guards had been called back but hadn't arrived yet. We must leave now, Cora said, before they return. The engines hummed to life, a gentle vibration that grew stronger. Ethan sat beside Zara as the shuttle lifted off the ground. Scared? Zara asked him. Terrified, Ethan admitted. But also excited. Through the shuttle's window, he watched Earth grow smaller below them, his home world which he had never left before. Now he was headed to an alien fleet, to face an alien council, to defend his creation, and possibly change the relationship between 2 species forever. The shuttle rose higher, breaking through the clouds. Soon they would reach the Viridian fleet in orbit. What will happen when we get there? Ethan asked. We go to full council, Cora explained. Present evidence of Lyra's crimes, show them the visor. And if they don't believe us? Then we die, Cora said simply. But if they do believe, Zara added, everything changes. For Viridians, for humans. As the shuttle left Earth's atmosphere, Ethan felt strangely calm. Whatever happened next, he had done something important. He had helped someone see. He had built a bridge between worlds. Zara seemed to sense his thoughts. My father had saying 1 act of kindness can change path of stars. Ethan looked at her. In the dim light of the shuttle, with the visor glowing softly around her eyes, she looked both alien and familiar. A being from another world who had become something more to him. A friend, a partner, perhaps something else he couldn't yet name. Your father sounds wise, Ethan said. He would have liked you? Zara smiled. Human who sees beyond differences. The shuttle's communication system chimed. The Viridian fleet was contacting them, asking for identification and purpose. Cora answered, in the Viridian language, her musical voice rising and falling in complex patterns. Then she turned to Zara and Ethan. Ready? She asked. Zara reached for Ethan's hand. Together, she said. Ethan nodded, holding her hand tightly. Together.